Good morning, everybody. Today is April 24th, and I am here today to talk to you about the COVID-19 or coronavirus that has simultaneously taken over our country in the past month. And I want to talk to you about what it is and how it is affecting our nation and what you should know and what you think you know but might actually be false because of how the way the news portrays information to you and makes you want to believe everything that is told to you. So, I've been following this virus quite deeply, and I don't really watch the mainstream media. I more go on like government sources or national sources, and there's other small news corporations that will actually go against a lot of the things the mainstream media says. And so first, I want to start off with what the coronavirus is. So obviously it's a virus. At first it had a lot of comparisons to the flu, but obviously it is a lot. I wouldn't say it's more dangerous as a virus, but it is more dangerous because of how easily it can be contracted. So one thing you need to know is the coronavirus is around 8 to 10 times more contagious than your ordinary flu. So you give the flu to one person, the coronavirus you'd give it to 10 people. So it's kind of like a 10 to 1 ratio of how you transmit it. So it's just a lot easier, and obviously it was really easy for a lot of people to get it without even knowing it. Excuse me. And another thing is the incubation period of this virus is it can go anywhere from 2 days. Some people have gotten symptoms right away, and those are the most serious cases, or to 2 weeks. You might feel small fever, but the longer your incubation period is, the less likely you are to have more severe symptoms, which is something that is why it's so dangerous, because people don't think they're sick. They go to the grocery store and then you cough and miraculously it gets into someone else, and then it goes to their family, you give it to your family, and then there's 10 people. It's like 2 families get it, 10 people. It's just what it is, and then that family it's just like a whole cycle of how people are really getting it now. It started off first with like a lot of kids transmitting it after they came home from school, spring break. That was a big problem at first, but it's mainly dominant in the Northeast area where I live. I actually live 45 minutes outside of New York City, so I'm very familiar, and I'm on very strict lockdown. We're not on a government lockdown, but it is not advised to go out, and nobody is outside. So, more on what COVID is. It is a respiratory lung illness, and essentially that's what the flu is. Influenza, the flu are the same thing, in case you didn't know. And the flu it really is the same exact thing when it comes to how strong this is. The flu killed 200,000 people last year in America, which I think is not really said enough to the people. And just knowing that the flu is less contagious and we have a vaccine obviously shows how dangerous coronavirus can be in the early stages, but at the same time, there's some facts you need to know of how it might be actually less dangerous, and it might even have a lesser of a fatality rate than you would think. You might watch, your MSNBC, Fox, CNN. I choose not to watch any of those personally, because they just talk about death rates. They just interview doctors, and they ask like such bold, straightforward questions that no one knows the answer to. And like when you're watching it, you almost know what the doctor is gonna say. So my perspective on it is something that's not talked about enough, or if it is, it's kind of underlined, is how asymptomatic a lot of people are, and how a lot of people have actually gotten this virus, and they might not even know. Like 3 whole houses could have had it in a neighborhood, and no one showed any symptoms, because it's a very asymptomatic virus, which is really rare, which is why this is going to be so tough to track down, which is why it might be a problem for a while. But I think once our society gets a grasp on how it really isn't that as deadly as people make it out to be. Like, of course, elderly people from, I'd say, in my opinion, they say 65 and older. I would almost go probably anywhere from like 45 and up, where you are at a higher risk, because I've heard of a lot of families who have had someone on a respirator in the hospital who's 47, with like kids, working class families. And it's just something that needs to be said, because obviously it really isn't too much of a problem for kids, but just like the flu has killed and still will kill a kid today. It's just much more rare. And obviously there's a higher chance because it's more contagious. But the thing is that since so many people are asymptomatic, mostly 30 and under, that you wouldn't even like, a lot of kids have no idea, which is why it's just so crazy, like how like our health officials like can't really get a full grasp on this thing, because it's like there's just so many like different outcomes of like what can happen. But I think now we have a much better idea of how this is going to be. And the next thing that you need to know is how it is affecting America, which is obviously the saddest thing. A lot of small businesses in particular, I know it's said everywhere, but it's true. Small businesses, even bigger businesses, bigger corporations. I mean, everyone's taking a hit. You can't not be taking a hit right now unless you specialize in something that is helping with people right now, and that's what you manufacture. So it's like it's very tough to keep a steady business right now, which is tough, obviously. And something that I also wanted to bring up, since we're college students, and maybe some of you will watch this, is that it's very important to understand that we go to school in Charleston, and if we're without work this summer, and our parents are without, or with less work or cut wages or whatever it is, like, Charleston's going to be a tough school to go to next semester, and obviously we all love it there. So it's just something to think about, how you want to resource yourself as much as you can this summer, and really you're going to have to be able to take some sacrifices, maybe see less friends and get as much work as you can, because it's something that you shouldn't take lightly. Because as long as the mainstream media and the government are talking about it, you won't see much of a change in our society until people calm down, or until the mainstream media has gotten what they've gotten from this. Then I don't think you'll see much of a change, and don't expect it anytime soon, sadly. But everyone, obviously stay healthy, and I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're enjoying your time at home with your family like I am, and yeah, have a great day.